All right, so you've decided, you woke up one day and you said, hey, I think I want to move to Dallas, I want to move to Texas. You're in another state and you decided, hey, it's time to come to the best place to live. Maybe you're in another part of Texas and you're like, hey, I need to get to Dallas. And you started looking at a map and you're like, I want to move to Dallas. And then you quickly realized Dallas is massive and you don't know where to begin, where to start, what to look at. And now you're here. So here's what I'm gonna do. Let's talk about it today. Let's talk about Dallas, good, bad, everything in between, and we'll go from there. Hopefully give you some tips, some tricks, some pointers, and get you started on your journey here into DFW marketplace. Let's go. So most of the time when people say they want to move to Dallas, they think they mean Dallas, but they actually mean the DFW Metroplex, so Dallas, Fort Worth Metroplex, DFW, and that kind of encompasses a whole lot of things. Sometimes it means Dallas proper, sometimes it means Fort Worth proper, but a lot of times it means the suburbs surrounding Dallas and Fort Worth proper, and it gets confusing, so let's talk about it because I want you to see, like, for perspective, how big DFW actually really is. The DFW Metroplex area is massive, and I mean seriously massive. It's got over 8 million people in it now. It's continuing to grow. It is the country's 4th largest metro area and contains about 28 to 30% of the state of Texas's total population. Size-wise, covers over 9,000 square miles. To put that in perspective, that's more land than 6 states in the United States, more land than Massachusetts, Hawaii, New Jersey, Connecticut, Delaware, and Rhode Island, and it's about the same size as New Hampshire. So when you're thinking about DFW, if you just take those states and lay us on top of them, we're bigger, we're better. It's the way it rolls. DFW covers, I think it's 13 counties and north of 200 or so cities or town, probably a little bit, maybe more or less. So it is a ton of different opportunities. And again, there's lots of great places to go one way or the other. One important distinction that we need to make if you're gonna move here, Dallas is not Fort Worth and Fort Worth is not Dallas. Those are not suburbs of each other. Those are their own separate metropolitan areas. They're kind of like siblings or cousins. If you move here, anybody that's from here will tell you there's a very distinct distinction between being from the Dallas area, being from the Fort Worth area. Like I said, they're not the same, so please don't treat them like they're the same. There's different vibes, there's pros and cons on both sides. Also, don't think that you're going to like work in Dallas proper and live in Fort Worth proper and commute, because you're going to be miserable. You're going to be driving an hour, hour and a half every day in traffic. So that's not probably a viable option. So just know that if you're going to move here and you don't want to get looked at funny, those are very different. Just be mindful. Before we go any further, I guess I forgot a little bit of my manners. I didn't introduce myself. My name is Zach. I work as a realtor here in the DFW marketplace. Most of what I serve is on the east side, so Dallas, headed east and north, so like Frisco, Plano, Richardson, McKinney, Mesquite, Sunnyvale, Rockwall, Forney. That's a lot of the area that I work. I live in that area. So, help families buy, sell. We do a lot of new construction deals. Just want to take a moment to introduce myself before we continue on talking about Dallas. I was born and raised here, spent a few years outside of the state. My wife and I, we came back, and DFW is home and will always be home for us. If you're planning on moving here, you want to know what is there to do, like, right? What's going on? Dallas is, there's a ton of opportunity for entertainment. There's cultural things, there's music, there's shows, there's plays. We have every major sports team in the DFW marketplace, so baseball, football, hockey. All the major sports teams there's a DFW franchise that calls them home. And if you're going to live here, you've got to become a fan of one of those. This is not can't be a fair weather fan here. Can't bring your don't bring your other fandom. You're going to have to learn to be a Cowboys fan, or be a Rangers fan, be a Stars fan, be a Mavs fan. Like, you're just going to have to be a part of it. We're going to accept you. You're going to be a part of it. Other than that, there's music hall, any kind of fun entertainment. There's plenty of nightlife. Most of the nightlife, truthfully, is contained probably to Dallas and Fort Worth proper. As you move out into the suburbs, most of them are not known for having great nightlife. So if you're wanting that, you're probably going to have to come back in toward Dallas to get that. So just know that as you're thinking about your move here. One of the things that we all who live in DFW know too well is you're going to sit in traffic. As things continue to expand and grow, and they build highways and freeways and toll roads and all of those things, like, you're going to sit in traffic and you're going to drive to get to where you're going. Most people here work and commute anywhere between 25 and 45 minutes from their home. It's just kind of the normal thing we commute. So that being said, you're definitely going to want your own car. This is not a place where you can live and depend on public transportation. Most of the public transportation is contained, again, in like Dallas and Fort Worth proper. And as you get out into the suburbs, it's not super great. So you're definitely going to need your own car to get around. You're also going to want to go ahead and buy a toll tag. You can find, you can go to NTTA. A lot of the new like highways that have been built have tolls on them. It is what it is. On the plus side, it keeps the roads well maintained, free of potholes and things like that. On the downside, you're paying to drive on them, and it's a whole lot cheaper if you have a toll tag. You just attach your credit card to it, and it bills you accordingly. So if you're moving here, make sure that's one of the first things you do after you get your vehicle registered. Get your toll tag, and then just know, like, I'm just fair warning. If you're driving here in Texas, the left lane is not the speed limit lane. The left lane is like the speed limit plus like 5 or 10. If you don't want to be told that you're number one while you're driving on a Texas highway, don't be in the left lane and just drive the speed limit. And for your safety, please don't be in the left lane and drive below the speed limit. We all just kind of speed here. It's what we do. We like to get places quickly because we have a long drive. So just go with the flow of traffic. Please don't be that person that's impeding traffic or driving slow. Just drive, with us, and we're not aggressive. We're just efficient, is what we like to say. So just be mindful. Nobody will tell you that you're number one when you're in traffic if you do that. The North Texas region continues to grow, both with economics and population. There's tons of Fortune 500 companies that have their headquarters here. American Airlines, AT&T, ExxonMobil, and that number is continuing to grow even beyond the Fortune 500 companies. There's tons of businesses that call Dallas home. Southwest Airlines is based here. The PGA is moving to Frisco. Toyota's moving to Frisco. There's a lot of growth and opportunity. There is a lot. The job market is doing really well. So if you're looking for a job and you're looking to grow and expand or maybe change careers, Dallas would be a great option for that because Texas is a very business-friendly state. Wages also tend to go further. We're paid well. Cost of living in North Texas is lower than what you would find in some other places. Important thing to note, as a wage earner in Texas, you do not pay state income tax. We're one of the few states that still does not have state income tax. However, on the flip side, we do have a little bit higher property taxes. Most property taxes for the counties in the North Texas area hover in the 2 to 3% range. So just be mindful. So while you won't pay state income taxes, you will pay property taxes, and it balances out, which is it's a good thing. But you typically end up ahead here, at least from what I've talked to as I've helped clients that have relocated, especially from the West Coast. They find that their money goes further. They're able to do more things with their finances, and affordability is a huge thing as part of a lot of people are finding themselves here in North Texas. If you're going to live here, one of the things you have to learn to love, besides the Cowboys, is Tex-Mex and barbecue. We are big fans of our Tex-Mex and our barbecue. Dallas, or DFW North Texas as a whole, is very much a restaurant scene. There's all kinds of different restaurants in all the different suburbs that are phenomenal. And again, going back to what we talked about earlier, where people drive, it's not unheard of for somebody to invite you out to dinner and y'all drive 20, 30, 40 minutes away to go to dinner. It's just kind of what happens. So you're going to have to learn to love Tex-Mex, chips and salsa, queso, brisket. I know it sounds really terrible, but you're going to have to learn to love it. If you need recommendations on those, I can take care of you. Happy to take you out to dinner, show you a good time. But you're just going to have to learn to love those things if you're going to live here in DFW. One thing that you're going to have to learn to live with, that you don't actually have to love, is the weather. Most of the year, our weather is great. It's a little bit humid. It's definitely not like going to Houston. If you go down to Houston, you're going to be like, oh my gosh, this is it's gross. It's humid. I'm not gonna lie to you. It is hot. Summers stay above 90 most of the time. Basically around here we have summer and not summer. So that's just something to be aware of. You're gonna have 100-degree days, and you may have multiple consecutive 100-degree days. So just know that. But then also on the flip side, there are gonna be weeks when the temperature fluctuates by 40. For the perfect example, the week that I'm recording this video, Monday and Tuesday of this week, highs were in the 70s. By the end of the week, we were down with highs in the 40s. It's Texas. It's just the way it goes. We deal with it. So you always have a chance of hail and tornadoes. It's just part of being in our region. So be mindful of that. So when you buy a property, and you look for your home insurance, make sure you're insured for hail and tornadoes. Ask a local how to protect yourself. It's a thing. Doesn't happen all the time, but you just need to be mindful of it. Also, you need to know when it ices or on the off chance it snows, we all lose our dang minds. We're talking like clear the shelves of bread and things you don't even eat. Like we've all got clearing all the cans. And people forget how to drive, and it's terrible. So just if you're coming from a northern state or you're coming from somewhere where it snows, don't make fun of us. It doesn't happen here often. And so when it does, we all forget how to function, and just show us some grace, because you're here now. And we would show you grace, and we're not going to make fun of you when you complain in the summer because it's 105. So just, something to consider. As you're planning your move into the suburbs of DFW, again, be mindful of school districts. Look at the school ratings. You can find the links down below to check out all the different school ratings. Here in DFW, we can tell you kind of where to go, where maybe not to go. If you have kids and they play sports, just know that in Friday Night Lights and high school sports, there's nothing like it anywhere else in the country. You end up in some of these cities and you see some of the venues and some of the ways that the cities rally behind their football teams, and it's impressive. And especially if you end up in a smaller suburb, the city is everybody's behind those teams, and it's such a fun thing to watch and be a part of. Again, and that kind of goes back to just Texas culture as a whole. Most likely you're gonna find great people. You're gonna find people that care about you, want to know your name, that want to help you. Texans, we're friendly. We're known as the friendly state. We like to keep it that way, so if you're going to come here, you just need to be friendly. Also, if you're going to move here, the word is y'all, not you all, y'all. Y-A-L-L, y'all. And you need to learn how to use it. And then once you're here long enough, you'll start learning phrases like y'all'd. That's a 4-word contraction right there, y'all'd. If y'all'd have just done what I told you, we'd already have you in Texas and it'd be great. So again, you're going to learn it. We're going to accept you, and you're going to drop the you all or you guys or whatever, and it's going to be a friendly state, and we're happy to have you. You don't have to buy a cowboy hat. You can if you want. If you think you need one, remember you wear your felt in the winter, your straw in the summer. We don't wear those. That's not actually a thing that people People do, but it's not, we're normal folks, I guess, around here. Normal folks. You see what I did there? Accents coming out again. When we talk housing, for the most part, we talk affordability. Again, if you're thinking Dallas and Fort Worth proper, you've got all the micro suburbs that make up those. And then you've got, of course, the cities that surround. You want it, you can find it. You want multi-million-dollar, we can find you multi-million-dollar. You want ranch and land, we can find it. Again, you're going to be out on the outer loop of, so to speak. You want great neighborhoods with HOAs and new construction, all of that, it's available. The further out you go, kind of like if you think hey, we're going up north, that's where a lot of growth is happening. To the east, that's where a lot of growth is happening. So there really, it's growing everywhere. So it just kind of comes down to what is your personal preference? What are you and your family looking for? That's where I kind of come in and say, hey, let's talk about budget, let's talk about needs, let's talk about where you're working and how far you're comfortable driving, and then we just kind of mesh all of those things together and we find you the perfect city to live in here in Dallas. My specialty, honestly, is a lot of new construction homes. That's where I deal a lot with. I love helping people in those new construction avenues. So here's what I'm going to ask: if you're interested and you're coming to DFW and you're thinking, hey, I need some help, let me help save you some money on a new construction home. I know a lot of builders have a lot of relationships, tons of incentives, and then again, I like to take care of my clients on top of that. So you'll see this down in the description below, but I'm going to say it on screen. If you would text new construction savings to 210-361-3505. Every time I say that, I feel like Mike Jones, like when I was a kid. Sorry, I'm a millennial. He's like 281-330-80004. 281-330-8004. Yeah, sorry, millennial moment. My bad. Mine is 210-361-3505. The phrase is new construction savings. I just want to get in touch and help connect you. That lets me know that you're looking for a new home here in DFW. and I can help point you in the right direction as you're looking. Well, we've talked affordability, we've talked Tex-Mex, we've talked y'all, we've talked, the difference between Dallas and Fort Worth. Oh, we haven't talked about the fair. Like the State Fair of Texas, it's a big deal. It happens September, October every year. Like kids get a day off of school and a free ticket. That's how much we care about our state fair. So if you're moving to Dallas and when you get here, you just need to know, like, go to the fair. It's the thing to do. So we've talked affordability, we've talked traffic, we've talked companies moving here, we've talked about people. I don't know what else to tell you. Again, I'm biased because Texas is my home. And DFW is my home, North Texas is my home. It's a great place to be. Is it perfect? Absolutely not. No place is outside of heaven. I think it's a great place, great people, wonderful place to raise a family. It's affordable, good opportunities for growth. Just come try it. So here's what I'd say to you. If you're interested, again, we've talked about new construction. Maybe it's not new construction. If you have questions about Texas or you have questions about North Texas, contact information and email is right there. Text me. If you need to want to schedule a time to talk face to face, there's a Zoom link in the description. If I can be of any resource, point you in the right direction, get you connected, answer any questions, talk about why you should move here, help you book flights, or tell you why you should fly Southwest versus flying to DFW. That's a whole other story because DFW is like the size, like the airport, size of Manhattan. If you can avoid flying out of there, you want to. So seriously, whatever I can do to help you move to Dallas, relocate within Dallas, the Metroplex at all, I'm here for you. I'm here for your family, standing in your corner, fighting for you, advocating for you. Guys, thanks so much for hanging out as we talk just about DFW and pros and cons and everything in between. Hope you'll stick around. I'll see you in my next video, guys. Bye for now.